Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Taryn Callion. I work with Knowify's customer success team, and I'm joined by Eddie Driver from PaySimple here today. And we're going to give you some more information on PaySimple in general, and then later on a little bit about how it can work with your Knowify account to really make your payment process and getting money from your clients on invoices a much more seamless process.
Thanks, Taryn. So thanks for the introduction, and just a little bit about me, just to kind of set the stage. Again, my name's Eddie Driver. I'm the product marketing head at PaySimple. And I've been in technology in the SaaS business for over 10 years, and I was a former small business owner. So not only do I know kind of the technology background and components of payments, but I also struggled with manual payments in the business that I owned years ago. So a lot of this content really hits home for me. And I was looking for ways to make my business processes better. And I think we're going to share some pretty cool ways that you're going to be able to do that today with both Knowify and PaySimple. So to get started here, I want to talk about the problem with manual payments. And there's a lot of problems with manual payments, but the overarching problem is it takes a really long time to get paid when you're doing it manually. So you'll see here that it takes the average customer over 10 days to process a payment. And 30% of those customers, it takes 3 or more weeks to get paid for any services that you provide. So, when you're in a business where cash flow is really important, and you're trying to schedule jobs and you're trying to budget for things that are coming up, making sure you have that cash coming in and have it coming in quickly is paramount to successfully running your business. And so, with manual payments, that kind of brings us to the case for making payments automatic. And with manual payments, you really kind of have 4 key areas that we see at PaySimple a lot of business owners struggle with. And that is, the first one is feeling chained to your phone. So if you don't have automatic payments or online payments, usually have to have an employee sitting there by the telephone waiting for people to call in order to make their payment. And you feel chained to your desk because if somebody were to call to make a payment when you're not at your desk, then you could potentially miss that payment and it could fall into that 3 or more weeks and really delay the money that you have coming in. And the second is overworked employees. We work with a lot of businesses here at PaySimple where they spend a majority of their time chasing payments and following up with customers in order to collect that money. And so really it causes more hours worked, more stress, and the feeling of being overworked by the employees in the business. Chasing payments itself is not only time consuming, but there's an opportunity cost there because the time that you're actually spending chasing those payments could be used for high growth activities or investment in your business to grow and prosper. So chasing payments is not only a time suck for the business, but it actually lessens your ability to create more value for your customers and your business by spending that time elsewhere. And the last one, which we know from the vast majority of our customers here, is it's just a bad customer experience. In today's age, people expect to be able to pay online. They expect to have secure payment capabilities, and they don't want to have to call somebody on the phone every time they want to make a payment. Sometimes the payment experience can be a little awkward, right? It's the time when somebody's parting with their money, and doing it over the phone where you're actually talking about, especially sometimes large sums of money, can be a bit of a strange conversation. So automating that and providing online secure payments takes that bad customer experience and turns it into a real positive for your business. And when you have all of these things working together, ultimately it results in wasted time and money. So again, it's time and money that your business could be investing in the success how successful your business is. That is the sort of thing that you might be wasting that time and money on and foregoing those opportunities. So next, we're going to talk quickly about who online payments work for. And on today's webinar, the vast majority of people are going to see that online payments are going to work perfect for you. So any business that provides services, maybe doesn't have a physical storefront, a lot of businesses that send invoices is a huge key for online payments, and then also businesses that have employees that are working in the field. So these, of course, are not the only characteristics that would make online payments a good fit for that business, but these are some of the real key factors that automatic online payments would really benefit not only your business, but your customers because of the way you interact, because of the way your projects are set up, and your business is structured to be able to collect those payments for the services that you're providing. So online payment processing is a real benefit, and online payments can happen in a lot of different ways. So to start, I'm actually going to talk about some of the capability that PaySimple offers that is outside of the integration with Knowify. We want to talk about some of these because every business is unique. You have unique relationships with your customers. You might collect payments in different ways. And so we know that not every single business is going to have the exact same payment needs. So we want to give a little bit of context to the things that PaySimple can do. And then we're going to follow it up with kind of the star of the show, which is how PaySimple and Knowify work together with a really cool integration to be able to collect those payments in your normal workflows in Knowify. So to start, payment plans are a big part of what can create a great customer experience. Payment plans are really important because, as you're collecting an upfront payment and then you get to the balance due at the end, it is not uncommon that the customer will not have the entire balance ready to go. And so being able to allow them to pay on a schedule that both works for them and for your business, both lowers stress for the customer and make sure that your business is getting paid on time. And some of the ways we can do this in PaySimple is we have a lot of different structures that these payment plans can take. So if you had a customer at the end of a project and they owed, say, $2,000, you could set it up so that that payment is done in 4 monthly payments of $500. It could be done in 20 monthly payments of $100. It could be on a specific day of the month. It could be on the third Thursday. So whatever you agree to with that customer, we can set the payment plan up in that way again. So it works for that customer and it works for your business. So you're not only providing them the service, you're providing them a way to pay that is going to work best for them. And hopefully, if they need additional services in the future, they're going to remember that and they're going to come back to you as well. The next one is supplementing your invoicing with in-field payments. So as we know, when you're working in the home, some people actually have a bit of a desire to pay with maybe a card swiper or to make that payment face-to-face so that there's kind of a verbal record and agreement that the payment is being made. And PaySimple has a robust mobile application for both Android and Apple mobile devices that you can use to collect payments face-to-face. And this is just an example of what our mobile app looks like. So you can see that you can set up custom one-time payments if they're doing a down payment as you're working with them in the home. They can do fixed payments if you want to set them up on a payment plan. You can add taxes. You can send them receipts for their records once those transactions are completed. So really any way that you want to set up that payment outside of the mobile app, you can also do it in the mobile app and be able to provide that flexibility to that customer right then. And then you can also connect our mobile app to card swipers and things where sometimes those customers feel safe when they can see you swiping the card and they can write their name when they check out to make sure that they're signing and validating that charge. And that makes them feel safe. So if you have customers that prefer that method, you can use PaySimple's mobile app in addition to the web capabilities and the integration with Knowify. And then the last piece here is point of sale. So for businesses that do have a physical storefront and you have customers that might come in, talk about projects, talk about budgeting, those sorts of things, PaySimple has a point of sale on the web that you can use to provide flexible payment structures to your customers that might be visiting with you face-to-face. And PaySimple's point of sale system is very easy to use. And you can see here in the green boxes, we have different types of payments that you could have. So you can do quick custom one-time payments that have very few steps and will get that charge done quickly. You can set up specific balance payments, so you can structure those in your reports. And then you can also do payment plans, and you can set up new structures of payment plans within point of sale. And one of the cool things about both the point of sale and the mobile tool is that PaySimple also integrates with QuickBooks Online. So any of you that may be using QBO out there, you can actually have these payments that are run outside of Knowify automatically sync to your QBO account. And then you can then sync those back into Knowify and provide notes on that payment that it was collected with the PaySimple web app and not through the Knowify integration, and still have that payment applied in Knowify and know that it just wasn't done through the integration. So for anybody that may be worrying about collecting payments out of another tool and how that would affect your accounting practices and your record keeping for those payments, the QBO and PaySimple integration will automatically sync those and allow you to keep track of those as you would with any other payment made through Knowify. So that's a big benefit there for any business that is concerned about how those accounting practices would work. So that's a little bit of how PaySimple can provide some of that payment flexibility outside of the Knowify integration. But what we're going to do now is talk about how PaySimple and Knowify actually work together. And Taryn's going to give a little demo here of how that actually works.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. That was great. I always like when I learn a little bit during the webinar as well. So what I'm doing is opening up my Knowify account here so you can see a little bit more about the whole process start to finish. So in this job, I have a $10,000 contract. I'm going to hit invoice now. So let's say I have a contract signed with a customer where I'll invoice the first half up front. Here's a $5,000 invoice I'm creating. When I send this email to my client and I'm connected with a PaySimple account, you'll see that I get this extra little button here that says include link to accept online payment. I'll be sending this to myself just so you can see what it looks like on the client's end. But you see that we have the option to select credit card, ACH, or both, for the client's decision here. And when I send this out, obviously we do CC you on the email that goes out as well. But the customer is going to get this email that's going to come right out of your Knowify account. And you see we get the link. Click here to make a payment through our secure payment portal. So the customer is actually going to get this custom portal that'll have your logo on it as opposed to the Knowify one. They'll see information about the invoice. They can get the PDF that we generated. And you see they have the option to plug in their credit card information right here and submit the payment. All the processing is run through PaySimple, but since it's integrated through our system, it can record that this invoice has been paid in your Knowify account simultaneously. For those of you who are in the field, as Eddie was mentioning, we also do have the ability to just pull up the link, where instead of sending this out, I can click this process payment. You see we show a little credit card icon here, which will pull us to this link where we can pull that same page up without having to email it out. This way, if you have a tablet and you're in the field and the customer wants to pay you, again, a lot of times people do like that face-to-face interaction. You can just pull up this link, they fill out their information, hand the iPad back over, and it charges them right then and there. So there's no need to have any additional steps of sending it to them and they pull it up on their phone. It's all in one place. And then again, as Eddie had mentioned, since their software is going to be integrating with QuickBooks, if you do any services that you haven't recorded in Knowify yet, and you want to be able to sync it all up later on, that can all be managed since the payments will be managed in your QuickBooks account from PaySimple, and then you can match it all up later on. That's really the simple way that this is all set up to work with your Knowify invoices. And then I'll be able to see in this page, let's say it was this invoice, it'll be closed out and we'll actually get a record. I actually probably should have put in a record of how that was paid, but just for the sake of example here. Any notes that are entered with the payment will be carried over. So we'll actually get some PaySimple information that is shown on the payment on this invoice as well. And that would be shown down here. Since I just manually record this, it shows, not applicable. But that's the simple way that Knowify works with your PaySimple account. And I'm going to pull this back up to the slideshow and hand off to Eddie again.
Great. Thanks, Sharon. So I think it's pretty easy to see that that workflow is not only incredibly easy and intuitive, but it fits perfectly into the normal workflow that you would be using with customers. And the integration capabilities plus the outside capabilities that PaySimple has really can fit the payment needs of any business and any customer because of the large amount of flexibility that exists there. So, those different ways to collect that payment is really what is going to enable your business to, again, reduce the amount of those unpaid bills. But one of the things that we get asked about a lot, right, is what does this mean in terms of value and money? And we definitely have some content here to go over, and that is around processing fees and overall costs, technology consolidation, and optimizing cash flow. And in the payments world, things can get a little tricky because there can be fees for a lot of different things. People don't really see the consolidation value in not having multiple technologies do the same thing that a single technology can do. And then also reducing unpaid bills and optimizing your cash flow, again, allows you to capitalize on the high growth activities that you could engage in and limit the opportunity costs that you would have. So some examples of how to actually save money with PaySimple and Knowify. On the left here, we have the world without PaySimple. And then on the right, we have the benefits that you have with PaySimple and Knowify. And so, without PaySimple, as I said, things can get a little tricky with fees and costs. So when you're looking at a payment solution, it's pretty common that there are fees for a lot of different things, like a gateway fee. So that's being able to use that technology to actually process payments. There are several payment processing companies that charge to keep a card on file in order to apply that to automatic payment plans. Sometimes there are fees for both of those things. So there's a fee for the technology to enable you to set up automatic payments. There's also a fee for keeping card on file. So that's a double fee that you're going to get just to allow people to pay on an automatic recurring structure. There's also non-customized payment rates. So you might go to a vendor and they say, these are the rates, there's nothing we can do, and it's not uncommon for them to be expensive. And there are some other items here, including customer support, so that if you have difficulty with that technology, it takes days to follow up. They only provide an email address. You can't talk to an actual human being. But all of those things really result in a leg in cash flow. And those things can then turn into financial hardships for your business, not being able to pay your employees, order goods for new projects, all the things that you need that cash to be able to do in your business. But when you have PaySimple, we take all of those things and basically wipe them away. So with PaySimple, there's no gateway or technology fees. There's no additional fees to utilize any of the technology that we covered today. So payment plans, mobile payments, the invoicing through Knowify, card on file, all of point of sale, all of those things are included with that account. And then, of course, the integration with your existing Knowify account is a huge value in order to fit that into your normal workflow. We will be able to discuss processing rates that will fit your individual business. So those are conversations that we have to make sure that your business is benefiting as much as possible. Your customers can follow up on outstanding payments at their convenience. So that, again, provides that better customer experience and could potentially bring customers back in the future. And one of the things we really pride ourselves on here at PaySimple is our Denver-based customer support team. And the level of support that we provide our customers is really one of our cornerstones of why we are a successful business. And we not only help troubleshoot problems with the PaySimple platform, the integration, but we also help troubleshoot issues with any merchant account payment processes, which usually you would not get from anyone else. So we really pride ourselves on helping every step of the way. And really, when it boils down to it, all of those things above equal more cash flow. Quicker cash flow, more cash flow, and cash flow that you can use to invest in the growth of your business. So we know that a lot of times people equate cost to just dollars and cents. But when you really look at the overall cost of owning a solution or multiple solutions, if you don't have a kind of consolidated one that works for all of those items, the costs are outside of just the dollars and cents that you're paying. It's opportunity costs and other things that you might be missing out on that's going to allow your business to grow and thrive as much as it can. And so before we get to questions here, I just wanted to kind of follow up with, if you want to learn more about the integration and how PaySimple and Knowify work together, there's a web address here, paysimple.com/Knowify. And we actually have a really great customer, Reborn Cabinets. And Andy Pack, who's one of the co-owners of Reborn Cabinets, said, overall, PaySimple saves us time. They were spending a lot of hours in the day manually processing payments, and most of it's been eliminated. And for Andy, who has multiple locations of his business in Southern California, time definitely equals money. And he also says that that freed up time allows the different departments in his business to focus on strategic projects that are going to set his business up for long-term successful growth. So Andy is a big PaySimple champion who I think has found a ton of value in PaySimple, and I hope that everybody on the call today would also find a ton of value in PaySimple and Knowify and being able to integrate those two solutions. So from here, I'm going to turn it over to Taryn, and we're going to get to a couple of questions that I believe came through the chat. And I will start with the first question that came, and that is, Taryn showed that you can collect credit cards and ACH through the integration. Can you collect credit cards and ACH through PaySimple with the same account? And that's a great question. So everything that Taryn showed in the integration around credit card and ACH also exists in PaySimple outside of the integration. So if you have a PaySimple account, you can collect credit cards and ACH payments so that you can have those all in one account, and again, keep that technology consolidated. So that's a great question, and PaySimple can definitely handle that.
I have a question about whether or not this is working in Canada yet. To the best of my knowledge, right now we're not working with Canada.
Yeah, that's correct. So at the moment, the system does not integrate in Canada. It is US only at the moment.
Okay. And it seems like that may actually be the only other question we got. I do appreciate everyone taking the time to join in today. This was recorded, so if you ever need to refer back to it, please don't hesitate to reach out. For those of you who are interested in setting up a PaySimple account and integrating with Knowify, please don't hesitate to shoot an email to support@knowify.com. Ask for more information. We can send you information as far as the pricing goes, and then we can send you on to the PaySimple team so they can set you up on their side, and then we'll manage the connection on our end. All right, great. Well, thanks everyone again for joining in, and I hope you all have a nice rest of your day.
Thank you.